Good evening, everyone. Jose J. Garcia, real estate investor, coach, and mentor. So we have another Sunday coaching series. Sunday coaching series continues every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us. It is recorded. It is shared all over social media platforms. But it's always best if you can join us live on the actual call so you can ask questions then. And we do get a lot of questions. Awesome. Thank you for the DMs for the questions that you send us. We try to get to all of them at one time. I've been saying we're going to have a Q&A. Okay, a Q&A where all we do is backfire, question, answer, and then we'll open the floor to that as well. We are starting to add up a lot of the questions. I like to answer the same questions typically asked over and over. You know, if the same question is asked 10, 15 times, you know, we'll address it at that point, or we'll make reels. Don't forget about that. We make a lot of reels many times on little topics like that. I like to answer one question overall. Everybody kind of gets the answer at one time. So, you know, instead of just answering individually, and I may respond to that. I know I responded a few times to emails. Check out our next reel. Okay. So, you know, we'll work on something like that. But tonight's topic is evaluating the value of mobile homes as is. What's your MAO, maximum allowed offer? And again, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. is when we go a lot more in depth into this. That's when we're actually going to open up some comparables. I want to show you how we compare. When you think about mobile home investing like what we do, we don't use the traditional realtor, FMLS, Zillow, Trulia, all these other sites, luxury sites, I call those for real estate. We don't have those unless you're involved in land or it's a park or mobile home, you know, difference. That's not what we invest in. We invest in individual mobile homes inside of typically community parks, which are not even considered real estate. They're considered personal property. So for one reason, that's why you would not see those on the Zillow, Trulia. Again, certain specific areas you may, but very limited as to what you can do on there. That's not what we depend on. So, you know, we always want to get every statistic before we make an offer. That's huge. I was mentioning on Instagram before we went live here on Zoom is over offering. A lot of investors are over offering and then trying to either decrease their offer or backing off from the deal. And the reason behind that is the same reason, is you don't know what to offer. If you don't know what the value of a mobile home is as is, okay, maybe move-in ready, whether it's being rehab or it needs to be a rehab, maybe even a full rehab, it's a stress level. You have to know how to estimate those numbers so that you can make a smart offer, right? Now, I know, and if people are saying, well, you can always make an offer and then later on just kind of retract some of that because of some of the repairs that may be needed. That's very real estate. You know, real estate, mobile homes, you know, I know they're very like this, houses, etc. I don't like to do stuff like that. If I make an offer, I'm making an offer because I know the value of, you know, I don't retract on because I've done all my due diligence. Okay. The reason why people would do that in real estate many times is to get an offer accepted. If you are the lowest offer, most likely you're not going to get accepted, right? So with a lot of real estate investors, they're not everybody, some of them, what they'll do is they'll over offer. They'll lock it up under agreement, put it on the contract, and then about a week later, oh, we noticed that this, that, those, etc., are all damaged. We cannot take on the property at this time unless we can decrease it by 20, 30,000, whatever that number may be. I don't like that. Okay. If you're not, you know, if you're going to make an offer, make it based on, you know, factual numbers. So we'll break some of that on there. Instagram, if you have any questions, just to drop them on the comment section. You can always also, well, you can unmute yourself. You can drop a comment or you can wait. You can do those two. So, all right, let's keep it going. And like I mentioned, you can join us on Zoom as well. You have the Garcia Mobile Home University there, garciamxu.com. You can go and click on there and get the link, but it's the same link every Sunday. So, all right, a couple questions here on Zoom. We'll wait till the end to answer those. But all right, so long story short, how do you estimate a mobile home as is? Easier said than done. I'm going to say that right away. Okay, it is not hard. It is not hard. Okay, work backwards from your final number. All right, I'm going to repeat that. Work backwards from your final number. What is your final number? Comparables. What is the ARVs being sold in this community that you're trying to invest in? ARVs meaning after repair value. If a mobile home just sold in this community, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single wide, 16 by 80, whatever it was, beautiful, move-in ready, that is a comparable. You're trying to compare it to something that is equal or size 2 as your mobile home. Do not compare a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, single wide for a double wide, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, right? That's not going to be a good comparable. And don't try to just decrease. Well, if that's 30,000, then mine should be 20,000. That's guesstimating. You're guessing with numbers. Okay. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Okay. So if a community is big enough, especially a lot of these larger 100 pads or more, there's steady mobile homes being sold, bought, that sort of thing. You can use comparables, and we'll get a little into this from another park, especially if it's next door. A few things that you kind of have to keep up in mind with that. But you have to start with the final after repair value. What is that number? We're going to stick to 25,000 for these examples coming up, by the way. 25,000. So let's just say 3 twos, 25,000. Okay. All right. So a couple people on Zoom can't log in. So Instagram, I hope y'all hear me okay there. I think we're good on this side. And like I said earlier, I've been traveling. We've been, wow, a lot of miles all last week out traveling. We traveled all last week, and you got to think of the tablet, the pad I use here has been up and going unstopped. So I might have a little issues on that, but we'll keep going. It is being recorded, so you can always catch the recap on that. Ask me some questions there. Okay. So a good deal. Okay. When you're thinking about what is a good deal, a great deal, and not so good of a deal, remember this: I never knock a not so good of a deal right away. If it's not a good deal now, it does not mean that it's not going to be one later on. You just have to, one of those things. This key tip there is follow up. How distressed is the seller? Do they need to sell? Do they want to sell? Where are they at in that? And kind of just put it on a little back burner, follow up with them later on. But what I mean by that is a good deal, when somebody thinks it's a good deal, may not be a good deal to somebody else. So there's no specific blueprint. One of those things, you have to factor in is what I'm okay with taking on may not be again with somebody else. When I first started investing, some of the mobile homes we were taking, I mean, they were gut jobs. I mean, we were just, my goodness, we were really taking them to that level. So would I go back and do those today? Yes and no. It depends. It depends on the numbers. We're going to keep sticking to that. It depends on the numbers. If the numbers check out, then it doesn't matter if it needs a cleanup or it needs a gut job. If at the end of the day, the ARVs after repair values check out and give me that great ROI, I'm going to take them, right? It's going to take longer. Obviously, there's other expenses too. We'll cover it in a few minutes, but that means that for somebody else, it may not be. Taking factor today, the cost of material, the cost of the labor, the cost of everything is up. Everything's balloon crazy. So, it would be, you have to be really careful as to what you think is or isn't a good deal. But the numbers don't lie. Over and over. If they're there, they're there, right? Always think in every deal, every investment, worst case, best case, and most likely. What is most likely to happen here? What would be the worst case scenario? I take on this mobile home and needs all new flooring. Okay, I can feel it's bouncy, it's squeaky. That's probably particle board, and no squeaking, bouncy should not be happening, by the way. So those are only problems to later on happen. Problems don't get better with time, right? So one of those, keep in mind. And again, worst case, what if I start taking this flooring apart? Okay, it's just the particle board. We'll put new flooring, but then you realize that the insulation is also damaged. Then you realize there may be some mold under there. That's worst case scenario. You're adding and adding. You got to take all these in account. And again, expect, what's most likely, but always keep in mind worst case and what is the best case. Maybe you come in and it isn't so bad at all. Quick little cleanup, touch up, good to go. We always expect for those, but can't say we've always gotten those, but we've gotten some that, I mean, my gosh, we came in and did some housekeeping, cleaning work, and we were in and out and we sold. So, those do exist. Good, bad, worse, all kinds of deals. You learn from those. So that being said, but cost of material, holding, other things to keep in factor is the holding. By holding, I mean the lot rent. Every mobile home and every community park pays lot rent. There's no exceptions to that. Yes, you can get certain criteria up front when you're starting out. We'll leave after another call. We're going to make another call on that, by the way. That's good. Let's make a call on how to negotiate with the park owner and park manager. Somebody send me an email on that. I'll make sure we make a call on that, because you can negotiate. You can negotiate the cost of lot rent, for how long it takes the lot rent, for how long you can keep the lot rent for that. And, a lot of exceptions that you can get, but it's building your trust, building your network, building that relationship. That's one of those things huge. So, okay. But the holding is one of those expenses, which would be the lot rent. How much are you going to spend every month while you're holding onto the property, while it's being rehab and or not sold? Remember, even once it is sold and it's moving ready, does not mean that you may immediately have a buyer or a tenant. Well, you have to wait another couple of weeks, another month. That's another lot rent, right? And then part of the holding is also utilities. If you have a rehab going on in the home, obviously you're going to have power, water, whatever utilities you need. Those are up and running, so you keep up with those as well. Then there's insurance. Insurance is not an option. Okay, repeat that. Insurance I'll put it this way, insuring your assets should never be an option, right? Insuring your assets should always be a must, even before you get started. As soon as you get a mobile home, you should put insurance. There's policies for mobile homes being rehab, policies if you're just a landlord, policies if you're going to be a long-term renter, all kinds of policies. They all protect your home, and that's what you want. Okay, so yes, that is a must, but there is an expense behind it. Not huge when it comes to mobile homes. I'm not going to toss numbers. I'm not going to toss numbers on that. I'll say this. One of my properties would pay about $33 a month. Okay, $33 a month, and it covers up to 25K of value should something worst case scenario happen on that. So we have that. Okay, the cost of the mobile home, you can estimate the cost of material, the rehab, the labor, the holding, the insurance, all exclusive, all around. But the cost of the mobile home is going to be key factor number one. If you cannot get a deal, okay, a deal on investment on the mobile home itself, you are already off to a bad start. And that's where I went at the beginning of this call. If you're over, okay, if you're over offering on a mobile home itself, then you're already a bad start, because by the time you allocate for the rehab, the material, the holding, you're going to be so far up above your numbers that it's going to take you so much longer to get the profits back. Why I love mobile homes, okay, many reasons, but one of the main reasons is because of how quick we can get turnaround funds back. If I can be in so much into my investment and sell it for cash, we get all the money up front and then some. But if I have to turn around and do a rent to own, finance it, create a note, whatever it may be, we typically get all of our money that we have into it and then some up front as a down payment, maybe. Okay, example, we're all into it for 5,000, we sell it for 25K, and somebody brings me 7,000 down payment. All of our money's back, all of our money, and then some is back, and then from there you have the remaining, which you get the also at interest at the point. You add interest in there, so now you have longer passive income, if you will. I get that question a lot, is why don't you ever just sell for cash? Always shoot for sell for cash. That's key number one. Always sell for cash. Most people, remember, mobile homes are affordable housing, affordability living. So most people don't have 20, 25K cash to bring to me. That's not to say they don't. And at the beginning of the year, when there's tax time, absolutely. We've seen 20, 30,000, even more cash. People borrow from people, families, they put it together, and here you go, and they got themselves a home, right? But, further towards the end of the year, more so even now, you start seeing that a lot of people are still interested. There's always a buyer. There will always be a buyer for affordability housing. But here's where a lot of people are more so, well, I can give you a down payment. If you can finance the rest of the money for me, we can work out something, et cetera, et cetera. Because don't forget that mobile homes, personal property, if it does not include land, you cannot get a traditional bank loan. You cannot get a credit union. They don't see it as enough security, okay? Even though it's not so easy to pick up a mobile home and run with it, that's how the bank sees it. Bank sees that you're going to hook up and go. We can't find it, track it down, it is gone. So for that reason, they're out. They don't loan on that. But again, that opens opportunities for us. If I can create a note on one of these financing and get entrance and be able to provide a home for somebody, that's a win-win plus. That's huge for me. And that's what we do. And we have many, many investments this way. That's what we call passive income. Okay. Infinite returns after the fact. So estimate every home by deducting cost of material and labor from every repair needed. If I'm walking inside of a property, a mobile home, yes, the seller's going to talk my ear off. That's common. I am looking for any damages that I see. Now, I always start with from the top to the bottom: roof, ceiling, walls, and then floor. Electrical, plumbing, that's huge. I have to know about that. And if somebody's living in them, I want to see every light turn on. I want to see every faucet running. Yes, and it's okay to ask. Don't ever be embarrassed to ask a question like that. Is I want to see everything operating, if you will. Okay, show me everything. If there's a leak, I'm okay with it. Show me though. Show me where that leak is, because in my head, I'm estimating. And as I'm walking from one side to the mobile home to the other, in my mind, I'm adding. We had a call on, I think it was last Sunday, as a matter of fact, on material, where to shop and browse for material for mobile homes. That is huge. And this is one of those where it's going to help you. If you spend some time on Home Depot or Lowe's websites and you're just searching for prices of material, or you actually go out to the store. I did this at the beginning of my investments. I would spend hours every weekend where I was just learning what the cost of material is, PVCs, electrical wiring, even toilets, countertops, cabinets. I wanted to know what all these prices were, because that is worst case scenario. If I had to replace an entire countertop, what would it cost me if I got it at retail? If you go back and watch our previous call, and we're going to put a link on that to this video, you'll see how you're supposed to shop for material. But worst case scenario is you get it at retail price. And then where does that put you in your budget? Well, the same thing goes here is when you're out and you're trying to evaluate a mobile home. I'm adding all these costs because I want to know. I want to know what it's all going to cost when it's time said and done, right? So we're estimating all the repairs, all the material, everything it's going to take. And if you don't know, okay, if you're new to this, that is okay. If you're new to this, you don't know exactly how to estimate, start by learning the price of the material. You can do that. But if you need to take you a handyman or contractor with you, take them. It shouldn't cost you anything, by the way. I know a lot of contractors will pay me for my time, my gas is up, etc. You know what? If you have to drop $100 on something like that to take a handyman contractor with you, it is worth you taking them and paying them that than investing in something that's going to cost you thousands of dollars should you not invest in that, right? You have that. So, but most contractors, especially if you're going to be working with them, you know, it's something that you can kind of negotiate with them. If we get the mobile home, we'll get you to do the repairs, for instance, right? You'll do the repairs on this home and many more to come, sort of thing, and be real about it, of course, but estimated numbers. So I like to be all in. My numbers are typically, my formula is, and it used to be a quarter, it is now a third. It is now 1/3 of the final resale value, meaning that if I'm going to sell a mobile home for $25,000, regardless of what it is, regardless of where it's at, $25K is what I'm going to resell it for, or what I can resell it for. That's what the comps are in the market. Then I want to be into that mobile home no more than $8,000. $8,000 meaning all exclusive. Again, here it is. All exclusive means the actual mobile home, the rehab, the material, the holding, the insurance, the miscellaneous. Remember that. There's miscellaneous, and there's also the oh my gosh kind of moments. I was sitting here repairing this floor, this wall, and I started taking it apart, and oh my gosh, we got mold. You got to estimate for those as well. We typically allocate anywhere from 500 to 1,000 on those. We have not needed it in a while. That's great. And notice we needed it at one point. You know, we were coming up with surprises, but it was just how we're doing our due diligence. Due diligence on a mobile home is huge. Somebody that knows how to work with mobile homes is going to be somebody who can help you also. Let me add to that to the handyman and contractor, by the way. If you have a handyman or a contractor, and all they've ever done or quotation specialized in is stick built apartments, condos, whatever it may be, never actually mobile homes, you may want to find somebody who is actually working mobile homes. A lot of times, if you visit mobile home park communities, here's a good tip for y'all. Okay, community parks. If you visit them, you will stumble to the handyman that actually works in the mobile homes. Ideally, it's typically somebody who lives there. They know how to do some type of maintenance, whether they're good at electrical, plumbing, whatever it may be. They stumbled upon with the park owner or park manager, and they were hired. And they do a pretty good job. That's why they keep them. They, on the other hand, however, they work with mobile homes every day. And they got a lot of free time many times. Is it possible that you may connect with them and get them to give you an estimate? Yes, there you go. So there you have it. That's one good place where you can go get you a estimator. We're going to call them that, an estimator on that. So they can come and tell you what the prices are and what it's going to take. Because one thing to remember when you are doing a rehab is it's not so much many times the actual material or the labor itself, but the timing. If you're talking about something that's going to take 2-3 weeks versus 1 or 2 days, you're talking an additional lot rent and additional expenses, more insurance. You know, all these things start accumulating. Every day you do not sell or rent out a mobile home, it's every day you're coming out of pocket. It is costing you money. So you can't have that happening, right? But remember, that is my formula. I hope it works. I hope it helps you all out. 1/3. The reason I went from 1/4 to 1/3 is obviously balloon, the cost of material. Cost of material, the cost of everything is going up, but retail resale of mobile homes, it is not there yet. That's what we're seeing. Typical real estate in a way, if you think about it. It will climb. I'm starting to see some markets, some areas that is definitely what we are seeing 25, 26,000. More investors are starting to sell for 27, 28,000. So, you know, the numbers are starting to climb up. But again, to keep up with the balloon and the, you know, overpriced, it is not there yet. So we went from being all into a mobile home about 5,500 typically, and getting 20, 25,000 to now what we're getting 25K, but more into it 8,000, sometimes a little bit more. But, you know, one of those things to keep in mind. Any questions so far? And I think Zoom did not allow for anybody to join. That's wonderful. We will be making a call to IT Zoom in the morning on something like this here. We've been traveling, like I said, I don't think the laptop is an issue, but getting a lot of these calls in and out, and we've done a lot of education. Stay tuned for a lot of educational videos that are coming. We are pre-recording a lot of them, a lot of topics. Don't forget, for the shadow event, we've added 2 new topics, never before coached at a shadow event. So you gotta come on live for those as well. But okay, let me advertise a couple things here, and then I will come back and see if anybody has any questions at this time. So next Tuesday night, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the Let's Do Deals. Let's Do Deals is a mobile home deal pitching call. Off market, the best deals. We present the majority of them. If anybody has a deal to present, they're welcome to bring it on there, pitch it. And it also goes live on Wednesday morning when we do a recap. If you don't follow our Facebook group at this time, Let's Do Deals Together. Go ahead and go follow it. You'll see a lot of recaps. A lot of deals get popped up on there. We used to do, and about to start doing it again, every Friday morning, hot deal. The hot deals where we overestimate one mobile home out of the deals there. We break them down a little bit more, put all the numbers up there for you, give you a better idea, if you will. And we put them out there for any investor that is interested in it. If you are a GMHU student, you always get dibs, of course, but it's one of those, okay? So reach out to us on some of those there. If you do join us on Tuesday and have a deal, send us an email beforehand so we'll make sure we open the floor for you all. And don't forget, if there's some, if there's a market, if there's an area that you do not see listed on our sheet, okay, send us an email. It is likely we may have connections there, or we may have something in the near future we can go and connect you with. When I say sheet, by the way, it is a very simple spreadsheet where we started putting deals and more deals into it. It started getting larger. And of course, at one point we said we better break this up and let other investors be able to get the same opportunity. So we kind of just carry it that way. But we do share that spreadsheet. If anybody does not have that, you're welcome to send us an email, j@garciamhu.com, and we'll send you the sheet. Wednesday, like I mentioned at the beginning of this call, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the long version of this coaching. We get a lot more in depth. I'm going to open up some of our sites that we use at that time and show you how we comp some of these mobile homes. Before you invest, you need to be able to have some comps already available. I want to know who is selling in the area. The one thing you're going to know real quick, much like real estate, every seller thinks their home is worth the most. The reason that they think their home is worth the most is because they compare it to somebody who just sold in the same neighborhood for X amount of money. Comparison to that is their home was moving ready, and the one that's being sold to you is not. So that's where you have to know these things, statistics, and you're able to use this. Yes, I saw X, across the street, they sold for this, and you just break it down for them. Explain your offers is huge. You have to explain your offers on this. That's on Wednesday evening. Saturday morning, Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you did not join us this Saturday or the past Saturday, you're missing out, but you can go watch the recap on it as well, our YouTube. So we have the Meet Your Speakers on October 1st, 2022. Yes, this year. For those of you asking next year, no, this year, okay? October 1st, we're going to have the shadow event. The shadow event is an event where I take you out by my side and I show you how I invest in mobile homes. From looking at reviewing them in and out, showing you how to break them down, okay? Some similar to what we did on here, but a lot more in depth. We'll have handyman contractors out there with us. We will have park owners, park managers. We'll have 4 speakers, the 4 speakers that are here. One of them is talking about cash flow. The other one's talking about LLCs, corporations. Okay, you have to have those in place sooner or later, especially if you're doing business, multiplying. The other one's going to be talking about how to get creative financing. Then we have a mobile home investing insurance agent. He's going to be out there covering policies. All of this happens in this 2-day event. Day 1 is definitely a mandatory you want to join. Day 2 is an option, but I highly suggest that you join day number 2 as well. That's going to be taking place in Central Georgia, Warner Robins. If y'all know where Central Georgia, Warner Robins, Georgia is, it will be taking place. It's a 2-day event. The reason for putting our speakers up is we had a virtual quick where it was a quick intro to all of our speakers. They talk a little bit about what they do, what they're going to be covering, and it got a lot of attention, a lot of emails, and I'm still getting emails. Please connect me with Brian. Please connect me with Bill. Happy to do so, but why not just come to the event where we're going to have them all there in live in person? So what we did is on Saturday mornings, we typically cover upcoming events. We cover any coachings, we cover anything we'll be talking about, we'll cover any deals, any new inventory coming, etc. It's Saturday morning, 10 a.m. is like a checkup call. But right now we converted into Meet Your Speakers. Meet Your Speakers where they'll get 30 minutes to come in and talk a little bit more, a lot more on what they're going to be covering, what they do, how they got started, all exclusive, right? First, we had Bill Olney. Second, we had Trevor Evans. Trevor Evans is actually my very first coach and mentor. And this upcoming Saturday coming up at 10 in the morning, live on Instagram, live on TikTok. We'll get recorded on Zoom, but it'll only be me and the speaker talking on Zoom. It's going to be Brian. Brian is going to be talking about land trusts. He's going to be talking about LLCs, corporations, a lot of things, a lot of you need to know. And if it's something that can interest you, definitely join us on that. All right, I think that's all I got for this evening. We do have a couple other live events that are coming. We're working up on now. We're doing a lot of business down in Naples, Florida. Naples, Florida, Fort Myers, Marco Island, all those areas we're covering a lot. That's where we spend a lot of hours networking and meeting people. We're thinking about having live events down there, maybe like a half a day of events. For anybody that's interested, go and see our last social media post where we are going to be hosting one at the end of July. If you're in the area, if you want to travel, it's a beautiful area. You're at the beach, you're in Florida, you can't go wrong. Come and network a little bit and learn some while you're there. So hope that helps. But all right, that does it for this evening. I do not see any questions on here at this time. So thank you all for joining us. Don't forget, every Sunday, same time, same channel, different topic every time. I hope to see you all there. But good evening, everyone. Thank you for watching.